My sister-in-law completely overstepped her boundaries when I was pregnant, which led to me losing the baby. I know I'm throwing all the blame on her, but when I tell you guys my story, you're going to understand why. So imagine when I get pregnant for the second time, how I don't even tell her. Well, you know what? That gave me some more problems. Hello everyone, my name's Christina. I'm a married woman, I'm 31, and I met my husband Mark through a college competition. We were on opposite teams, but he immediately caught my eye with his wit and sarcasm. There was a party afterward and everybody showed up. Irrespective of being opponents, just a few hours later, that's when I made the first move on him. We talked all evening and, well, he even offered to walk me back to my room, which I found so chivalrous. Before we reached my room, I asked him out because I didn't want to let this opportunity slip by. So, we went on our first date to a cute Korean restaurant the very next day. We could not stop talking all night long, and even though Mark is a huge introvert and finds it difficult to talk to people, but we just clicked in a way that made the both of us open up easily to each other. Soon, we introduced ourselves to our families. Mark grew up in a strict household with his mom, Beatrice, and sister Emily. His mother had to raise them both single-handedly when Mark's father left. And then one day, when Mark was quite young, Beatrice had to enforce strict laws at home to keep them in line, while also earning good money to support the family, and I have so much respect for her for doing so. This also meant that Mark, being 8 years Emily's elder, was often left alone to take care of her. This led Emily to be a bit dependent on Mark. See, Mark had a lot of love for his sister, and it was very clear. So I tried to keep a good relationship with her throughout our relationship. I was successful in doing so, you know. So she must have just been 14 at the time when I first met her, and we weren't immediately best friends upon meeting, but I found her to be pretty pleasant. However, as the years passed, I married into the family, and Emily began, she started going to college, and we actually became really good friends. We often went on brunch if I were ever near her college, and she would often spend Christmas at our house. I liked her, yet I acknowledged that Emily could be impulsive, especially when she was angry. She also did not know how to respect other people's boundaries. This became all too clear during my pregnancy a few years ago. I have some trouble with fertility, so I took us a few years to conceive a baby. We were over the moon about it when we found out and beyond grateful to God for blessing us after so much struggle. My sister-in-law noticed that I was not drinking the wine she specifically brought for us, and I realized that she was getting ready to throw a tantrum. So we revealed to her that I was pregnant. Well, she was over the moon about it, and she could not wait to be an aunt. Seeing her reaction made me so happy. Seeing her excitement only increased mine. However, it was only my 9th week, and I struggled with infertility. So Mark and I weren't comfortable revealing the news to everybody else. I wanted the first trimester to be over, so to be sure that the pregnancy would not result in some sort of mishap before I tell the family. I just told Emily that we were trying to keep it low, and not telling people yet without explaining the real reason further. But soon the news of my pregnancy spread like wildfire. I grew very tense when my mother-in-law Beatrice called me to congratulate me on the news. I wasn't happy, and neither was Mark. We tried to contain the news, but Emily had told everyone important things about it. And they had then told everybody else. I was furious at Emily's actions, and this was news that only we should have revealed to the rest of the family when we wanted. And my worst fears came true when I miscarried the baby. I was 11 weeks pregnant. I was sleeping when I experienced stomach cramps and realized that I was bleeding. Mark panicked and immediately took me to the ER. We were heartbroken when we found that I lost the baby. In the upcoming weeks, I was absolutely crushed. We had spent years trying to get pregnant, and it had ended up into a miscarriage. I felt like it was my fault, and I was floating in guilt after the doctor reassured us that it probably wasn't our fault at all. But in the few weeks that I had known about the baby, I had built up so many expectations in my head that ultimately shattered that day. So, When the news of our miscarriage got out, that only needed to be revealed because Emily revealed the news of our pregnancy before we were ready. Everybody had something to say. So many of our relatives came forward with unsolicited advice and honestly insensitive comments about the situation. An aunt even said that I must have sinned for God to punish me in such a way. I knew it was superstitious, but I was in no state to endure such remarks from my own family. All this just made me feel worse. You know, my self-esteem, it only went downhill from that. And it just felt horrible. And I started to feel incapable of anything. So soon I was mentally so low that I did not get out of bed for days to come. Mark was amazing during this time. He often forced me out of the house and tried to cheer me up with made-up trips to the most random places, just so I would get some sunlight and fresh air. To add a cherry to the top, Emily did not seem to understand her role in it. She didn't think that the miscarriage was a huge deal, because we could just make another baby after this one passed away. Well, I was furious when she said that. I was letting the small things in life impact me so much. Mark tried to excuse her behavior, saying that she's too young to understand motherhood, and I should not take her comment so serious. It took me some time in therapy to feel better, but still, I wasn't ready to try for another baby for a whole year. I was scared of miscarrying yet another baby. But Mark's constant support and love made me so strong, strong enough to try for another one. We again struggled to conceive for almost a year and finally found out that I was pregnant 7 weeks ago. Mark was excited, I knew it, but he tried to hide it. He tried to keep my expectations low until I had completed the first trimester. We didn't tell anybody about the pregnancy, especially not after how all of it ended, Well, we were beyond grateful when I completed the first trimester without having any sort of issues. The doctors said that everything was okay, and we were relieved. We even did a small gender reveal at our house with a cake, but told nobody else in the family. So, a week ago, Emily called to tell us that she would be coming over for Christmas. Well, Mark had tried to stall her, saying how we weren't hosting Christmas this year. When that did not work, he tried to make an excuse that we were going on vacation and nobody would be home. I know that we're very close to the due date, and the baby will probably arrive before Christmas, but I don't want to tell anybody just yet. I want to spend quality time with my baby, and when we're ready, tell everybody about the news. Mark agrees with my wishes too, and I don't want Emily to come over to find out that we had a baby and to tell everyone again, like last time, before we're even ready to announce it ourselves. Is that too much to ask for? Are we being selfish? I want to enjoy motherhood for a month or two before everyone finds out. And I understand that Emily wants to spend Christmas with family, but my mental health is more important than Emily's wishes to spend Christmas with us. I really don't want the family to give me unsolicited advice on how to raise my kid and make insensitive jokes and comments about how, my last pregnancy ended. And I've heard rumors and horror stories from a lot of mothers about postpartum depression. I want to shield my mental health the best that I can. And if that makes me selfish, well, you know what? So be it. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today's story is about to take an extreme turn. I do have 5 action-packed updates for us to hop into. Guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, just take a second, hit that subscribe button, because I'm telling you, some of these stories are juicy. Let's go ahead and jump into the first update, and once again, I hope you're having a great day. Update number 1. Hey everyone, it's Christina here. I gave birth to my daughter 3 weeks ago, and some unexpected things happened during this time, so I thought I would catch you up. My daughter was born healthy and is doing well. My husband Mark and I have been spending as much quality time with her as we can before we have to return to our jobs. We were so happy to finally hold her after so many struggles that we went through to have her. Everything was going great, and we have come home from the hospital without any complications. We were keeping her birth a secret from everyone until we were ready for them to meet her. Mark was the perfect husband and a great father. Until Christmas Eve, See, on Christmas Eve, my sister-in-law decided to give us a surprise visit. Mark had told her multiple times over the past few weeks that we weren't going to celebrate Christmas. Oh, and that she was not invited to our house to celebrate. Emily did not heed his warnings and just showed up first thing in the morning. Her constant ringing of the bell woke our daughter up, and Mark had to carry her to the door while he tried to calm her down. I was just 10 steps behind him, ready to take the baby from her and calm herself. We were half asleep ourselves, so we didn't think that it could possibly be Emily dropping by without consulting us. When Mark saw Emily at the door, he went silent, and Emily was shocked to see a baby. You see, the baby was still in Mark's hands. She did not give Mark a moment to catch up and say anything, and she just launched into a full-blown tantrum. She asked us whose baby it was. I was annoyed by the question and snatched my daughter from Mark without answering her stupid question. She was shocked that we had not involved her in the birth of our baby and said so, and she rushed after me, accusing me of trying to take away her happiness, and she said that it must have been my decision to keep this news from her because her perfect brother would have never done that. Well, I told her I did not wish for her to ruin my pregnancy and the birth of the baby like she had done last time. Well, saying that, she was in absolute shock and asked me what I meant. I reminded her of the few insensitive comments that she said to me when I was going through my miscarriage, and I also reminded her of the fact that she told everyone about the pregnancy, when we pointedly told her to keep it a secret. She screamed that all she wanted to do was make the family a part of the happiness. I told her that wasn't what we wanted, and she just made our personal news, everyone else's business. And then she had the audacity to behave like it was absolutely nothing. So Emily, she began telling me that I'm nothing more than a horrible person, and who never deserved any sort of happiness. She told me that everybody was going to be mad at me and that I would deserve everyone's hate for keeping such a news a secret. Mark had enough by then when he saw me stressing out, while trying to calm down the baby, who was crying even harder due to all the screaming. Mark told Emily that he had not invited her to the dinner, so she should just leave. Emily was mad that her brother was taking my side, but she heeded the warning and rushed out of the house, but not before throwing some nasty comments about my character at me. Well, just like I thought, she thought this was a selfish decision. I just hope that the rest of the family understands my points. Update number 2. Hello everyone, it's Christina again with another update so soon. I know it's only been a handful of days since my first update, but I need to tell you about the stunt that Emily, my sister-in-law, pulled this time. I had anticipated that Emily would try to get back at us, especially me after all that she had said to us during that tantrum she had thrown all those days ago. But Mark had not. See, he reassured me that she would understand why we kept her out of the loop. I highly disagreed with him, but did not say that out loud. I knew that I just had to wait and see what she did next, and what she did next was horrible and vile. I heard from Mark's cousin about what Emily had been telling everybody, about my daughter's birth. Apparently she's been lying and spreading rumors about me to make me look like a bad wife and a bad person. Clearly, Emily was angry that we had not involved her in the birth of her niece, and instead of understanding for our reasonings behind it, she decided to be a thorn in our side. She's been telling the family that my daughter looks nothing like Mark. You know what? I just think that's a straight-up blatant lie, because she's Mark's exact copy. I've been jealous ever since she was born because of how eerily similar she looks to him. They share the same hair color and even the same eye color. All she seemed to have gotten from me was her nose. She went a step further by lying that the real reason why Mark and I hid the pregnancy was that it wasn't Mark's baby at all. She lied to everybody that I cheated on Mark and got pregnant, and Mark did not want to seem like a coward by not leaving me for my infidelity, hence agreeing to hide the pregnancy and birth from the family. See, she lied that we planned to give the baby up for adoption to save face, and we just waited for somebody to take the baby away from us. This horrified me the most of all. I thanked Mark's cousin profusely for telling this to me, and she reassured me that she did not like Emily, and that she knew that she was lying, so she wanted to tell me so we could handle this as best as we could. The cousin revealed that everyone was spreading this gossip like wildfire, and that I needed to stop the rumors before they got out of hand. When I told Mark about his sister's actions, he was shocked. He could not see his harmless little sister making such vile lies about us, and spreading them everywhere. But she did that. She is a vile, pathetic little thing. He called his mom Beatrice, hoping that she would be able to handle her daughter, but instead she lashed out at Mark. It was clear that Beatrice believed her daughter's lies about my character, and she did not believe Marky Mark at all. Oh, it was clear, and I don't feel shocked at her actions. I just feel angry. Trying to ruin my pregnancy once again. Update number 3. Hey, everyone, it's Christina again. I know it's been a week since Emily spread rumors about me and the birth of my daughter. Yesterday, my mother-in-law Beatrice, she barged into my home. Ugh, sure did, just like her daughter, straight up uninvited. Well, you know what? Yesterday, it happened, and I was honestly a little down after everything that Emily did. And seeing Beatrice only made the pit in my stomach worse. She seemed angry, and she claimed that she was here to handle the situation, but she would not even look at me and her own granddaughter. She only looked at Mark and sternly told him that she was disappointed that I would stay with a woman who cheated on him. Mark explained that Emily has been lying because she was angry that we did not tell her about my pregnancy. He recalled what happened the last time and how my mental health deteriorated because of it all. So this time we decided to tell everyone once the baby was born, and we even spent a few weeks of quality time with her. So Emily shows up unannounced even though we told her that she wasn't invited this year, and then she saw us with a newborn and threw a tantrum like a little girl who didn't get candy. His words. I even told her to look at the baby, and she looked exactly like Mark. At the moment, she did look at her granddaughter's sleeping face, but I could tell that she was not fully convinced, guys. Beatrice is not a bad person, just a stern person, and I mean very, very stern. Well, I knew that she would come around eventually if she knew the truth. Emily had just manipulated the situation against us per usual, so Beatrice claimed that she raised Emily better than this, and that she could not have lied about such a delicate thing to the family. But I reminded her that she was pretty insensitive when I had my first miscarriage. But seeing that Beatrice still had not asked to pick up her granddaughter, I knew she needed more proof. So I asked her how we could prove to her that we were telling the truth. So she takes a deep breath and revealed that she wants the baby to be DNA tested. This way, she would be convinced, and we would have proof of the rest of the family as well. I felt so humiliated that I needed to prove my character in front of the family like this, all because I wanted to shield my mental health from their nasty comments. But I also wanted to get rid of Emily after what she pulled. I can never forgive her for what she said about me to everyone. And you know what? I want revenge. She's a bad person, and I don't want her in or around my daughter's life anymore. So I told her that we would get that stupid DNA test on one condition. The condition is that nobody can stop us from having no contact with Emily. I wanted the whole family to respect our decision to cut off all contact with her. When Mark did not argue, I knew he agreed with my decision. We, have been very angry with her for what she did. Even Beatrice agreed and left us alone after that. I guess I've had an opportunity to reveal the snake that Emily truly is, and I'm going to tell everybody the truth about her now. Update number 4. Hey everybody, so this is Christina again, and yes, I'm here with another update. It's been 3 weeks since my last update and the DNA test. We've been patiently waiting to reveal the truth to everyone ever since my mother-in-law visited us. The test results came back 2 days ago, and they told the truth that my daughter belongs to Mark. We weren't worried about it all, but now it's time to tell everyone. We had invited the family over, not hiding that we knew what Emily has been telling everyone. It was a very awkward affair, especially in the beginning. Not many people approached us to see our daughter, not knowing if they should, or maybe they thought that Emily was telling the truth and the baby wasn't even Mark's. The house was in chaos after we showed them the report. Emily claimed that we must have manipulated the report because looking at my daughter, she apparently looks nothing like Mark. Beatrice has had enough by then and asked her if that was the only proof that she had for her claims and if that she had run my name through the mud because the baby looked nothing like Mark. Emily claimed that, our hiding her was also proof of something sinister. We were clearly being suspicious because we wanted to hide the fact that the baby did not belong to Mark. Otherwise, why would we go about hiding it, she says. That's when Beatrice came to our aid and reminded her of things that she did in our last pregnancy. That led to the deterioration of my mental health and all that. And she clearly did not learn from then. So it was obvious that we would not want her to know about it. Beatrice claimed that she was a liar. But Emily tried to explain that she genuinely just thought that the baby wasn't Mark's, and that she was just trying to protect him from me. Beatrice has had enough by then, and she told her to leave the house and never to try to contact us again. Emily tried to plead, but Beatrice knew her truth. She claimed that she had always used Mark for money whenever she needed it, and then she spoke such bad things about his wife with him. Beatrice told her to never ask for money from Mark ever again. If she could not respect us, then she physically threw Emily out of the house for us, and I mean physical. After that, the mood of the house truly changed. Beatrice approached us with an apology and a request to see her granddaughter. That's when the rest of the family knew that they could do that, too. See, the day turned into a celebration of my daughter after that, with everybody wanting to hold the baby and play with her. I was annoyed that they believed Emily's lies, but at least they knew the truth now. So, I tried to understand how they must have felt when Emily came to me with their vile lies. Would I have believed them if I were them? You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, the honest answer is, I really don't know. Final update. Hey guys, it's Christina again, with probably one last update. It's been about 3 months since my last update when we exposed my sister-in-law's lies and deception to everybody in the family. We've been doing much better. We've heard from Emily a few times in the last 3 months, mostly from Mark. She had called him a handful of times asking for money. Mark refused to send her anything and told her in no uncertain terms to never contact us again. But that did not stop her from coming over to our house one day, crying that she made a mistake. But Mark was very angry with what she did all those months ago and told her to leave us alone. Emily has always been like this, only being nice when she needs money from her big brother. But now Mark sees through her mask, and I just feel bad that their relationship got so ruined. But you know what? Emily did this on her own accord. She really did. It's her own damn fault. Beatrice has been super nice since the chaos. She feels bad about how she behaved, but she does not apologize again and again verbally. And she shows that she regrets treating us that way by taking care of her grandbaby and going the extra mile whenever we needed to get a babysitter. We know that she feels horrible about how she behaved. As for the rest of the family, it's also been apologizing and giving us gifts to welcome the baby with the family. I don't know if I've completely forgiven them, but I'm always cautious around them. Yeah, the baby is also doing well. All of us are doing well in our little family, and she is our miracle baby. And we could not be any happier, even after the debacle with Emily. What is with all these overbearing mother-in-laws and sister-in-laws? Every other day, there's a mother-in-law demanding a DNA test, and guys, can't you just mind your own business? OP and her significant other are so happy, and you know what? Here goes a mother-in-law and a sister-in-law just butting their heads into someone else's business where it doesn't belong, causing issues in the relationship. Luckily, OP and her husband Mark had a very good bond, so this didn't really push them away at all. And we know how the story ended, but I want to hear from you guys. If you find yourself in OP's position, what would you have done? Drop it down below in the comment section, guys. My name's Mr. Reddito. I want to thank you for joining me today. If you guys want more daily videos, consider subscribing. I'll see you tomorrow, and of course remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya!